A very good evening, and thanks for clicking on to the Friday edition of Vogan's European Outlook for the 5th of April. And before we continue with the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. A very warm welcome if you're reasonably new to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the content. Leave a comment in the section below, and if you can like the video, that would be much appreciated. Lets myself and YouTube know that you're enjoying the content here on Mark Vogan Weather on YouTube. Very active weather pattern continues as we move through towards the end of week 1 of April. This is the temperature anomaly so far in April, and you can see here that it is firmly below average across much of Scandinavia, firmly warmer than average across the heart of Central, Eastern, Southeastern Europe here, slightly cooler than average parts of Iberia due to a very south displaced jet. We looked at that in yesterday's video about how far south it is. It's actually crossing over the Canary Islands at the moment, over the Azores. There's been a lot of weather moving in to far southwestern Europe. Across northern UK, it has been below average so far this month, but the bulk of England, Wales, and the Republic of Ireland is warmer than average. So back to the visible satellite imagery here, you can see this is the rapidly deepening storm Kathleen, expected to drop into the 940s in millibars. It will not only bring very strong southerly winds, heavy rainfall, further rain than what we've already seen in recent days, including today, but it will also present the warmest air mass of the year so far. We should creep into the low 20s during the course of tomorrow afternoon. But the current, just after 5 o'clock in the evening here, and we have got breaks in the cloud across central and eastern England. And in that sunshine, we are seeing temperatures respond. A lot of cloud cover across the majority of the UK and Ireland, it has to be said. Breaks in the cloud, I think, over parts of Northern Ireland as well. But this is the current temperatures for the time of recording. And in that sunshine, as I've said, we are seeing the temperatures respond. We've got the 18s in several locations across eastern England, as you can see. But up across northern UK, it is a very different story. A very marked contrast, by the way. Southern Scotland, 0 to 1 Celsius this morning. Down in the North Midlands, it was 13, even 14 Celsius. So a very, very big contrast in temperature. And that continues as we go through the course of this afternoon. For example, we've only got 3.6 on the thermometer at Loch Liscarnock with a wind chill of -1.9. We have got the Aviemore at 6.5 with a wind chill of 4.4. But then, as you can see, as we progress further south, even down to Carlisle, we've got a 14.2 Celsius. We've got a few 15s across parts of eastern Northern Ireland in and around the Belfast area, as you can see here. Up along the northwest coast at McGilligan, it's also 15 Celsius. And relatively decent temperatures across the Republic of Ireland this afternoon as well. Looking at, this was the temperatures this morning, by the way, and it was a reasonably chilly start to the day across the north, but further south we had double digits above freezing, as can be seen here. Looking at the continent here, the current temperatures, and you can see that we have got we had a cold start once again across far northern portions of Scandinavia. Speaking about Scandinavia, let's have a look and see quickly at some of the lows from this morning. So we do have -32.2 Celsius that I can see standing out here. Probably a couple of other sites, yeah, a couple of other sites in and around far northern Norway, Sweden, and Finland, upper -20s to low -30s. Very impressive cold, may I add, for early April. And when you look at Europe as a whole, you can see that we had relatively mild conditions across the majority of mainland Europe here, with exceptions of parts of the eastern Baltic states into Ukraine. We had slightly chilly conditions, but nothing really to write home about here. Current temperatures are looking like this here, so we'll continue to hold on to that rather cold air mass across Scandinavia. These are pretty cold temperatures actually across far northern Europe for the 5th of April. But look at down across Spain and southern France. We've got temperatures knocking the door at 30 across southern France, We've also got temperatures into the upper 20s, low 30s across parts of southern Iberia at the time of recording. So big contrasts across the continent between northern Scandinavia and southern Spain at this very moment in time. Looking at the current visible radar, not visible radar, and you can see here that we continue to see very, very heavy outbreaks of rain. Now, this is very heavy rainfall associated with the previous system, I believe, or it's a band of precipitation moving north, really. You can see here very heavy persistent rainfall across the central belt, up the southwest highlands. We've got plenty of showers across southern Scotland extending into northern England, a few West Midlands into East Wales. Northern Ireland's getting peppered by heavy showers, probably some embedded thunder, hail mixed in for good measure as well. And then, as you can see here, down across southwestern portions of the UK, we're going to increase the wind and we're seeing that rain, and that is associated with Storm Kathleen. So the upcoming 7-day period here maintains the wet theme. So this is taking us out to the 12th of April, approaching the middle portions of April. Wetter than average conditions is going to continue across the majority of the UK and indeed Ireland. Far southeastern UK is going to be closer to average conditions here. Southern Europe, Central Europe, average to below average rainfall, as can be seen here. The CFSV2, same idea, wetter than average conditions, UK, Ireland, Central and Southern Europe, drier than average here. And the theme, as I've said already here, MJO rotating back into phases 4 and 5, we will start to see the increased chance of seeing something a little bit drier with more high pressure dominating as we move towards the middle and second half of April. That is the take home from today's video, folks, is the fact that we should hopefully start to see a slightly drier, not a completely dry, but slightly drier theme as we move towards the middle and second half of the month. So the CFS or the GFS ensemble shows the continuation of wetter than average conditions 7th through the 14th of April, especially western and northern areas of the UK here. But then as we continue to play through the loop here and we edge towards mid-month, only far western Scotland is actually wetter than average. We've actually got drier than average conditions, eastern Scotland and the majority of UK away from that northwest corner of Scotland. That looks to be the theme as we move towards mid and during the second half of April here. And I believe personally that is indicative of that MJO and probably other factors thrown in for good measure as well. So you can see here the CFSV2 eases that anomalous wet pattern into week 2. This is the period 12th through the 19th of April. And then you can see, like this GFS ensemble, we go to an average to drier than average theme during the second half of this month. Now, if we look at the upper air pattern, you can see why that's the case. This is the upcoming 7-day period here. A firm, mild pattern, low pressure just to the west of the UK and Ireland, massive dominant area of high pressure over the majority of mainland Europe here. This is a mild flavour, mild flow of weather. And as you can see here into week 2 and into week 3, heights start to rise. And I think this is a direct consequence of that MJO rotating through phases 2, 3, into 4, into 5, and then possibly it kind of goes into the null phase here, which makes it a little bit harder to predict where we're going. So these are the temperatures here. Nothing major to write home about. 21, 22 Celsius at this time of the year is nothing out of the ordinary, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's above average, but nothing exceptional for early April. We've seen temperatures like this plenty of times in the past. But I want to show you something here. This surge of warmth lifts north, and then it gets kicked off to the east. Once that warmth then gets kicked off to the east, we're back in relatively average conditions overall. You see here that as I play through the loop here, you can see if we can get to the time frame here. So this is later in the day tomorrow, and the daytime maximums don't recover quite as high as what they did. So this is into the day on Sunday afternoon, and we've got 16s and 17s. This is off the UK Met Office model, by the way. Should have probably said that. But by Sunday afternoon, you can see here that the temperatures are a good bit lower than what they are tomorrow afternoon. Then as we move into the day on Monday, same idea, we're back up to 17, 18 Celsius. Not quite as warm as the heights that we've seen are going to see tomorrow afternoon. Notice here that we've got a chance of seeing something a little bit colder early Tuesday morning, which is quite interesting. And then even by Tuesday afternoon, we're only talking about 12, 13 Celsius for a maximum here. So this surge of warmth is going to be reasonably short-lived through the course of tomorrow afternoon. So let's have a quick look and see what the pressure chart is looking like here with regards to Storm Kathleen. So you can see here at the very edge of the chart here, this is Storm Kathleen starting to become a rather notable feature for the time of the year, at least anyway. And what you can see is it's dragging up this milder. So just to the east of the system, we've got very strong southerly winds. That is transporting that very mild air at 850 millibars northwards up over the UK here, and that will then shift eastwards into the heart of the continent. We're going to see some very warm temperatures, particularly Sunday into Monday across France, Low Countries, into Germany, as that heat then gets kicked eastwards here. So let's have a quick look and see what the 850s are looking like off the latest run of. Let's have a look at the ECMWF actually and see what the 850s are showing here. So this is the 850 anomaly. We'll look at the anomaly at least anyway first, right? And you can see here these very, very mild temperatures compared to average. So we are actually talking about temperatures at the 5,000 foot level of over 12 Celsius above average. And I think those kind of pinkier colours are actually closer to what 18 to 20 Celsius above the average, which is pretty remarkable actually. This is a major surge of warmth, particularly so propelled in the mid levels of the atmosphere, may I add, because like 21, 22 Celsius for southeastern UK at this time of the year isn't really anything majorly to write home about, by the way. So, but certainly some of these anomalies here, especially as it moves into the near continent, you're talking close to 20 Celsius above the average here. So let's have a look and see what the wind gusts are showing here with regards to Storm Kathleen. How windy is it actually going to get? So I had said 70 to 80 mile an hour winds in exposed areas. We'll wait and see what happens, but certainly it's generating on the southern flank of this low. It's generating gusts seen by the model at 12 o'clock today of 183 kilometers per hour. So you can see here this very tightly wound feature here, more so off Iberia as opposed to the southwest of the UK, by the way. And then as the system moves north, it's already mature, so it's already at 948 millibars, for example, here. To the west of Ireland here, we could be talking about wind gusts close to 80 miles an hour, possibly even slightly more than that. Notice here in the west and northwestern flank of the circulation, this is actually where the strongest winds are seen by the ECMWF, which is quite interesting. But up that Atlantic coast of Ireland, this is where the strongest winds are going to be. 70 to 80 mile an hour winds, I think, is quite likely. 50, 60, widely inland areas of the Republic of Ireland. Exposure, we could see 70 plus up through the Irish Sea, either between on the western side of the Irish Sea along the Irish coast, 70 plus mile an hour winds, and equally so on the England, Wales, and Scotland side of the Irish Sea. We could see wind gusts in excess of 70 miles per hour from the circulation here. So certainly it will be a very, very notable wind event here, especially across Ireland, hence why it's been named by Met Arian. The mainland of the UK, by the way, the winds are not going to be anywhere near as strong, I don't think. I think we're going to only be talking about maybe 25, 35 mile per hour winds, central and eastern portions of the British Isles, but they certainly over the Republic of Ireland, exposed areas of England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland, we could see some very lively wind gusts associated with this system. Notice here we've got a lot less wind across the heart of Europe. So anyway, spoken long enough. Like, share, and subscribe. No video tomorrow, taking tomorrow off, but there will be a global weather and climate report on Sunday. No live stream this week because I'm actually down in Glasgow on Sunday, but it should be back as normal next Sunday, so stay tuned for that. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll see you again on Sunday with more. Bye for now.